Yeah, I've been cleaning with Simple Green now for 26, 27 years. Anything from floors to cars to, hell, even the occasional coffee mug. Now, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I'm hoping they'll see my passion for the product, my passion for cleaning. Maybe kick me a few coins and buy my daddy a boat one day. They don't make boats? It's just cleaner? Kenzie, ask Siri what the company Simple Green does. It's just cleaner? Now, what is Siri now? I like it because it's simple, which means it's not intimidating to use for even a guy like me, and it's green, which is the color of folding money. So I think I'm going to continue to clean with Simple Green for the foreseeable. Maybe you should too. What's up, everybody? My name is Elliott, but you can call me the Motory Notary. And remember, broccoli might look like little trees, but it's actually a vegetable, and you should probably be eating more of it. Today I'm back with Penny, my 2003 BMW Z4 that was originally won in Las Vegas at a penny slot. But now it's hit a second jackpot in its life because now it's here in Wichita, Kansas with me. On YouTube, just like in life, there are rules, laws even. Laws that require a guy like me to take a Z4 with 280,000 miles to Carmax for an appraisal. Now, I don't make the rules, but I do have to follow them if I want to continue making automotive YouTube content. So that's just what we're going to do today. I'm going to spiff up the BMW a little bit to increase its appraisal value, and then we'll go see the boys in blue over at Carmax to see what they'll give for an old BMW with a ton of miles on it. Now, the last time I took a car over to Carmax, it was actually that green FreeMW over there. And as you may recall, that car needed a massive amount of cleaning. The outside needed to be cleaned, the inside needed to be cleaned, the engine bay needed a huge level of detail, and the trunk, most importantly, needed to be de-stinkified. Now, for all of that work, I got a $200 Carmax appraisal, which is not good if you think about it, but it's actually really good considering the acquisition price of free for that particular BMW. Now, this BMW is a different story. I paid actual money for this car, and on the outside, it presents a whole lot better than the 5 Series does. But it also somehow has more mileage on it, and it isn't without flaws. So let me show you those flaws, and then I'll show you how we're going to take care of them. First and foremost on the things to take care of on the penny slot BMW is the engine bay. If you watch my first 2 videos on this car, you'll notice that the engine bay was, well, weathered. Now, it's 18 years old, and I don't think anyone has ever detailed the engine bay on this car, but it is something that Carmax looks at during the appraisal process. I don't think it actually increases value to have a clean engine bay, but as a car guy, I know that I personally am a lot less embarrassed to pop the hood on this car when it's looking presentable. Now, what are we going to use to clean the engine bay? Simple Green, because it's simple, it's green, and it did a heck of a job on the FreeMW. So I am going to Simple Green the bejesus out of this engine bay, and then we'll see how it looks. Well, holy smokes, that looks a lot better. And while it was only a few YouTube seconds for you, I can assure you that it was also only a few real-life seconds for me, because that's YouTube magic. Now, the engine bay in here was always the least presentable part of this car. It was brown, it was gross, it looked like it had been sitting outside for 18 years. But now it is super presentable. You can even actually see the color of the ABS actuator. I didn't even know it had another color on it. I thought it was just black. But anyway, now the engine bay is clean and presentable, and fingers crossed this will add like a $10 or $15 to our Carmax appraisal. Well, now that the engine bay is as clean as it's possibly going to be, let's take a walk around and see if there's anything else on this car that we can change. Now, first and foremost, obviously I can't do anything about those yet as I'm still waiting on tires for those. But walking around, this car really does present very well. There's a little ding right here that I can't do anything about, but the paint is in good shape. Again, wheels, gross. This antenna's broken off and I can order a new one of those, but can't do anything about that right now. We did have a brake light out, but I already replaced that. Wheels again, gross. Everything else here is still fine. The interior at a 5-foot level looks great. And I mean, other than replacing this center piece and getting a new lid for that, the interior is pretty much ready to go too. The only other possible thing I can do is something that I didn't know was a problem until I drove it home this weekend. My cat at home, Neil, decides that he very much likes the texture of the canvas top on this car. So Friday night, I had it top down, he didn't care. Saturday night, I parked it in the garage with the top up, and he decided this was the greatest place to sleep of all time, which meant he distributed a bunch of cat fur on it because he spent like 8 hours laying on it. So just in case they care about that, let me lint roll the top real quick on this car, and then I think we're ready to go get it appraised. And with that, I think I've made this car as presentable as it can possibly be without spending an exorbitant amount of money on it. So let's get it out on the road and go see what the folks at Carmax think this lucky BMW is worth. Now, I think of this particular trip to Carmax as like jury duty. I'm legally required to do it. I have a BMW with 280,000 miles that I paid less than $4,000 for. It's my civic duty to take this car to Carmax to see what it's worth. Now, there are a few things I am worried about with this trip. While I've taken care of all the cosmetic things that I can, the check engine light is still on, and that's a big problem for the folks at Carmax. You see, while you and I know that it's only an O2 sensor, to the people at Carmax, that check engine light could be anything. For all they know, cylinder number 5 doesn't work. So they don't really like to take the risk of cars with check engine lights on, and I might get docked financially a lot for that. I also have the brake pad wear sensor light still on because, well, it's missing. But again, I'm gonna probably lose points for that because Carmax appraisers do not like dash lights. On the bright side though, I did fix the brake light and I did fill it up with gas, so there's 2 less lights than there were a few days ago. Hopefully they'll care about that. All right, fresh in from appraisal land. And normally this is where a lot of YouTubers would tell you to subscribe or follow them on Instagram or something like that. But you guys already know how to do that. So I'm gonna cut right to the chase. They offered me a whopping $1,500, which I'm actually surprised about. Remember, the FreeMW, a 1997 BMW with 250,000 miles on it, fetched $200 according to Carmax. But this Z4 with 280,000 miles on it is actually worth $1,500. I guess it's true what they say. The top goes down, the price goes up. Some of the things that they cited were prior paint work, which I didn't know that this car had been repainted. I might have to investigate on that. And they did not like that the engine light was on. So really, if the engine light wasn't on, I would imagine this thing would get even more money. So I'm very, very happy with this appraisal result. Not bad, Carmax. Not bad. Well, there you go, guys. Civic duty complete. Penny the Z4 has officially been to Carmax, which means the YouTube police can stop knocking on my door. At least until I acquire another vehicle, that is. And while the valuation of $1,500 was less than half of the purchase price of this vehicle for me, it's still a pretty good price considering this car started life out as free and has enjoyed 280,000 miles worth of fun. Now, I actually have parts on order for this car as we speak, which means this car is probably only 2 to 3 weeks away from being a completely different Z4 than how I first acquired it, which is super duper exciting. I can't wait to see how this thing turns out. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I try to post a little preview of upcoming episodes there. Follow me on Facebook. Join my Facebook group. It's a fun place to share memes, and I'm usually interacting in the comments. It's a fun group. Be sure to check that out. Other than that, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe on this video, and I will see you guys on the next video.